understand what you mean. Like, I mean, with my boyfriend, I did it pretty quick than like any other guy I dated, and I don't think that necessarily makes me promiscuous. But I think you're meaning in the stance of doing it a lot, because you could like have sex with someone like right when you meet them the first night, but never do it again. It doesn't make you promiscuous.
What does a woman have to do for you to declare them promiscuous? Give us a list. Is it just she sleeps with one guy on one night the first time and it's over? Like, is it an elements test? Are we looking at the totality of the circumstances?
Are there degrees to promiscuity?
Sorry, I was distracted by her giving middle finger. What were you giving middle finger to?
Somebody said what I already addressed on the first episode I was on, is that I sound like a man. I'm so sick of people. Your mama look like a man, bitch.
You don't sound like a man.
But to answer your question, promiscuous behavior, especially if it's repeated, right? Only time can tell.
So promiscuous behavior, if a woman engages in promiscuous behavior, and to you, promiscuous behavior could literally just mean sleeping with a man one time for the first time, and then it's done. She's in that box. She's promiscuous.
She might be.
Yeah, I agree. She might be, but he's
I
saying
think
that
it's
she may not
behavior.
behavior.
I would say so. Yeah.
You would say that she's okay.
Would you say dressing?
You could change though.
Let me ask you,
change.
Brittany. Let me ask you a question. Would you say that showing cleavage or dressing in a revealing manner is promiscuous behavior?
Well, I think that cleavage has a degree, right? Because some women are more curvy than others. And for example, you can't get away with wearing the same thing on a societal level if you have bigger breasts than girls who have smaller breasts.
I totally get
That's kind
that.
of true.
So for example, I saw on one of the episodes, the one where the girl flashed, which by the way was really messed up for her to do.
Yeah.
But like, for example, Madison, I think her name is, right? Your name? Yes. So like you were wearing this cute blue top, but it was like a lingerie top. It even had like garter belts on it. And as somebody who's grown up wearing normal clothes and getting called a whore if I wear something that has like any cleavage because I'm more curvy, I get curious. So I check the comments to see, like, I wonder if anyone mentions like it's a lingerie. I know it's fashion. I know it's fashion, but like I noticed like in that example and in general that girls that are more petite, skinnier, they get away a lot more.
Oh no,
like,
you're totally right. I mean, I would borrow like some of my friends' clothes that are, you know, like D cups, and you know, I would get away with pretty much anything versus they would be told like, no, go home, go get changed.
I'd like to say also that I'm anti-porn, and I noticed a comment that one of my friends sent me was that I had a top on, and it's like from Brandy Melville, and most of the models that they have,
I've had that. Yeah,
and I was having a low shirt, and someone said like,
it's just a tank top, right?
The person, it was like kind of like a
the square neck one,
kind of, yeah. And it had like
the one with the buttons down the middle.
Yeah. And and someone said the girl with the lowest hanging top is anti-porn, and it's like, well, I have breasts, you know.
Yeah, and cleavage will happen sometimes.
If any other girl that, you know, doesn't, like, it looks modest on her.
Yeah.
But
even with the same amount of coverage,
I can't control that, you know.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's weird because what I'm wearing has nothing to do with, you know, being anti-porn.
Yeah, and obviously there's a way you could dress promiscuous and be curvy, or like a skinny girl doing it too, but it just seems like there's different standards, so I don't necessarily believe like a centimeter of cleavage equals promiscuous.
Yeah.
Well, I think
girls have different body types.
Something like that.
We can't leave our tits at home, you know?
Well, I think you are a little too hyper-focused specifically on the cleavage component of what I said. But for example, regardless of your...
Well, that was why I added the end part.
Because a lot of people will do that. They'll literally wear the same top, and one has bigger chest, one has smaller chest. And
yeah, and it's like can't relate to having
Yeah.
big tits, so...
Like I actually just made a video.
Sure,
I
but
look promiscuous and everything.
my view of promiscuity, while I suppose the quickness with which you sleep with someone you could make some inferences about their promiscuity, I think ultimately the main thing you'd have to look at is how many sexual partners they have, how many people they're sleeping with.
Well, how many is too many for you?
Huh?
They can lie, they ain't got to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like
he's
how
saying
do
the
you know they're
definition
gonna
of
be with you?
promiscuity
taught to
is
say
sleeping
3.
with multiple people.
But
Multiply by 3, that's the real
definition.
number.
We have to define promiscuity.
The
So you have
definition
very interesting definitions. He's saying the definition, which is the most widely accepted, is somebody who has a lot of sexual partners is a promiscuous person.
How many is a lot?
And that is the definition, but there's also promiscuous behavior, right? Like, there's a difference between having like a little bit of cleavage or wearing a mini skirt, and then like having your ass cheeks falling out of a skirt and having like your nipples almost showing.
So So you're saying you could engage in promiscuous behavior though and not be promiscuous then? Are we
There's
separating?
a line to where it is or isn't promiscuous in terms of like dressing, fashion-wise, for example.
So he's saying that, yeah, if sleeping with someone on a first date is promiscuous behavior, that doesn't necessarily mean they're promiscuous because promiscuous has a definition.
But
So I think
promiscuous
for the
behavior
time being
means
it
you
does.
did sleep
with multiple people.
So I think for the time it does mean that because.
What do you mean the time? Like it just
meaning
changes?
they could decide. Meaning later on maybe they stop doing that.
So
They're no
to
longer
you,
a
the
promiscuous
definition of
person.
promiscuous doesn't mean to sleep with
it's not
multiple
to me.
people.
The word
then.
promiscuous means to do that behavior, right?
So
if
you're
a-
not separating behavior from promiscuous. Like, is promiscuous behavior different from promiscuous woman?
Promiscuous women have promiscuous behavior, and if somebody has promiscuous behavior, then
They're
are promiscuous
necessarily
women.
promiscuous?
They are.
So
If you have promiscuous behavior for that time being, unless you change later on.
what do you
let's say,
mean
like,
that time? So you're okay.
So a certain amount of time.
Does promiscuous
passes.
mean that you have multiple partners, or no? Because that's what the widely accepted definition of promiscuous means. It doesn't mean
You say
that
more than one?
I guess
That's what it
That's
means.
what
Then
it means.
Or
multiple,
I mean, having
I
many
don't think
Yeah, but
transient,
okay, yeah. So-
having many
So I'll
transient
put it
sexual
this way.
relationships.
So I'll put it this way: if a girl was a virgin, but then she had an OnlyFans and she does full nude, full engaged on her site, wouldn't she be called promiscuous despite her being a virgin?
So
No.
you're
that
no,
might,
not
that
really.
might be the perception,
Yeah.
but is it true? Because,
Yes, because
yo, Adam, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
yes, because that's how the language is used. Language is used how people actually use it. That's how, even if a dictionary
but
says
if-
this
but
is
they're
the
wrong.
new
I
thing,
think very
definitions
differently
change
than the
over
rest
time,
of
and
us.
this
But if
is
they don't
how
know the
people use
actual
it.
definition and what something means, then they're using these words wrong. They're
You're using
the
it
wrong
different than
words.
how we would use it, for instance. What makes you right? Either there's a
We're
definition.
basically saying the same thing. It's just
No, we're
people are
not.
drawing the different lines. It's promiscuous women have promiscuous behavior.
But not all promiscuous behavior necessarily means a promiscuous woman.
If a-
That's what he was saying. That
Are we talking about
distinction.
right
Do you
now
not
or, like, in the
understand?
future?
There's some kind of logical fallacy. I forgot.
I mean,
what
if
it
Okay.
that's the message that you're sending, maybe, you know, it's if you show cleavage, you're sending promiscuous
So you're
signals,
defining
and-
promiscuous women
depends
as
to
any
how much
promiscuous
cleavage. There's a
behavior.
range, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, promiscuity is inherently about sexual non-selectiveness with numerous people.
right. So if you have an OnlyFans, that could qualify. Even if you're a virgin, you're still
But you're posting
You're still-
pictures of yourself
Hold on,
online.
hold
You're
on
not
just a
touching
sec,
other
hold
you're
on.
people.
showing your intimacy.
Hold
While
on.
sleeping on the first date may not mean the woman is promiscuous, it does mean she has poor sexual boundaries. Either way, it is a red flag.
Yeah, most
Not
of the
necessarily, but it could be a red flag. But
I think
how do
sexual
you
discipline is
know?
very
How do you know
important.
she's being faithful? If she just
Right,
slept with you on
but
the
you're
first date,
saying
she could
not
just lie.
necessarily.
she could.
But you did too.
Huh?
Whoever the man is did too. He slept with her on the first date too.
time. The exception doesn't
It's
make
for
the
both
rule.
But-
people.
Yeah.
So like, would you commit to a girl she's only slept with you, but she has the OnlyFans and she's fully nude?
What is
What-
define
hold on,
promiscuous?
hold on,
please?
one second. I want
She
to
really, she's farming here. Okay. Sorry, repeat the question.
So if a girl was a virgin and
Sure.
she had full nude OnlyFans,
Mm.
it's pornographic. It's intended to make men cum, right?
Cooming, yeah.
Yeah. So she's virgin. She only had sex with you, right? She's no longer virgin because she had sex with you,
Sure.
or she intends to at the very least, right? Would you consider being in a long-term relationship, meaning like the equivalent of marriage and having kids with her? Would you consider that promiscuous?
Would I hold on? Well, there's two separate questions there.
Yeah.
Would I get married to her? Would I have kids with her?
Yeah.
And would I consider it promiscuous? Well, as far as having options go, I would much rather date a woman who doesn't have OnlyFans.
Why?
Why? Well, it's just better. Better
Why? Because
options.
it's not promiscuous.
Can you
It's
define?
is it
It's
promiscuous
not
to have an
having-
OnlyFans?
I
It's a
don't
different
think
word.
Yeah,
having-
it's a
Just
different
that's-
word. You're
I
just
don't
not
think
the
having
right
word.
having an OnlyFans necessarily means
Then
you
what's
are
the
promiscuous.
aversion?
But it's different.
There,
They just
there's
have-
other factors
yeah,
with
he
which you
doesn't
can
have the same values
disqualify a
as her,
potential
yeah.
partner besides promiscuity.
But
For
it's
example, having your
disqualifying her,
nude
but
content.
why?
For example, having your nude content online may be a boundary for some men that they
It's
don't
not-
want to
it's
have a
non-exclusivity.
relationship.
Like she's either not exclusive with you that she's had 30 sexual partners, or she's not exclusive with you, as in she's had lots of people on the internet looking at her.
But why are we throwing this under the promiscuous umbrella?
because you're saying that you wouldn't-
promiscuity, please.
Hold on, hold on.
I feel like this is almost a
Because I did-
semantic. It's too
No,
semantic.
because you're saying you would not prefer that, and I agree. I also wouldn't prefer a guy who had an OnlyFans like showing their butthole.
But where's
for
the?
That's a
fun.
different-
Give me the God
completely
show. Where
different.
come,
So
come get.
you're
get-
saying,
let's
so
hear
you're
the God show.
saying, you're saying that you wouldn't date her, which is fair, right?
Okay.
But you're saying that you wouldn't date her. It's like, okay, but why? Why do you have a aversion to OnlyFans if it's not promiscuous?
Sure. Well, okay. For example, if I do want to have kids with a woman and she has her nude photographs online, not ideal. The
Right.
kids may be subject to bullying.
Right. I agree.
Also, I think there's some reputational concerns of, amongst my peer group.
But why? Because it's promiscuous, right?
And she's not
It's not. I don't think it's about
Yeah.
promiscuity. I think it's just like a
it's an L for
societal,
a guy.
cultural.
Norm,
Hold on, let me
yeah.
finish. It's like a societal, cultural thing that there are.
Why?
I think porn and showing your body naked online is stigmatized, not because of promiscuity, but just on its own, it's stigmatized.
Why? Wouldn't
Why?
it be because
Are you
it's
trying to get me to
promiscuous?
say that it's promiscuous? I think you're
What
getting
would
really
be the
stuck
other
on the
version? Because that's why I would say no. Because I would be like, yeah, that's kind of promiscuous behavior. I don't want that to be the father of my kids. They have an OnlyFans.
I don't know if it's promiscuous behavior
we
to
get a
have an
different
OnlyFans.
word?
Yeah,
The
can,
right
or
word?
can
I don't
you
think
just
that's the right
define
word. I
promiscuous?
don't think we
Please.
disagree on like the actual underlying meaning, but I'm not sure if like the word usage here is precise.
You
Yeah.
defined it earlier, which is why I further asked you. Because you said it's to be sexual multiple people, and that is being sexual multiple people, is having
It's
an
not.
OnlyFans.
They're
that's
not
sexual.
touching you. They're looking
you're
at you.
selling sex for money.
So wait, selling sex for money virtually is the same thing as having multiple partners? Like, is that just?
it's
you're not-
promiscuous.
It is promiscuous.
What is what is somebody define promiscuous, and let's go by that definition.
Well, he said
my
it
lawyer
earlier.
brain
say
is
I think we're
non-exclusive
too
behavior.
stuck on the
as a lawyer,
promiscuous.
like my terms.
At least
defined,
one
and
of them
you-
is
if
making
you're-
money.
Yeah.
What
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did I adequately answer your question, or do you feel like I haven't addressed your?
I feel like it's either because those things that you said, like being bullied and the stigmatization, that comes from the act of it being promiscuous. That's why it's stigmatized. That's why you're called a hoe, right? That's why she had hoe in her bio, for example, because she's aware of the stigma that it
I don't
says.
think taking
Even though it's
nude-
like a joke or a play on it. It's like the self-awareness of the joke.
So
But
can
okay,
you just
so we're
define
basically having an
promiscuity,
argument
please?
about
He
words.
did earlier, and I said I agree, and that's why we expanded on the question.
But let's disregard our.
But your examples don't
hold on,
fit
hold
the
on. Let me just say,
definition.
let's disregard this disagreement on what promiscuity is. But let's get to the actual bare bones of it. What exactly is your argument? Like, or are we just arguing about what is promiscuity? Because I
Well-
think it's just what's the fucking term?
Well,
Beating a
it's
dead
the point
horse.
is it's bad for a reason or undesirable to certain people for a reason, and I feel like you're not acknowledging the reason that it's bad, which is because it's viewed as promiscuous behavior. It's a promiscuous thing to do. And
I think it's bad
know
for
you want a
other
definition, but
reasons.
he said it earlier, and I agreed with
You think
it.
just
So,
not like
so then
non-exclusive
promiscuous behavior is
Well,
separate from
what?
promiscuity. If promiscuity
Yeah.
certainly means having multiple partners, and promiscuous behavior doesn't mean, because you could have promiscuous behavior and not have multiple partners.
Right, but you're selling yourself sexually for men's gratification to the masses.
And that means that you have multiple partners?
You're not selling your
it means-
physical body. You're selling.
So I just
mean,
negated
content.
your definition since I don't have multiple
So
partners.
if someone sees you on YouTube and they think you're really hot and they pause it on a hot
Into the mic.
view
into the
of
mic,
you.
please.
No, but you're.
And
but
then they
the
jerk off to that.
That's
Did
not
you?
what OnlyFans girl is doing, though. Her whole job.
So promiscuity to you involves selling sex. It's not just having multiple partners. It could be a multitude of things, right?
It could be selling sex. It's generally giving out sex, even if it's transactional, even if it's just them. It's intended to make a guy cum. That still counts.
So you're redefining promiscuity away from his definition. That's all I want.
No. He defined it earlier as like
Having
basically-
multiple partners.
No, he defined it earlier as giving away sex to multiple people. I said that could also, if you rewind it, that could also apply to OnlyFans, and that's what I said. So I was agreeing with that definition.
But you're quite, I mean, the example you provided was this girl's a virgin, she's only been with you, but she does post her nude photos. But using the words that just came out of your mouth, that's not promiscuity.
Yeah, I don't.
You're selling your sex to multiple men are engaging in a transaction
You're
with you.
selling your
that's sexual.
sexuality to multiple men, not sex.
Yeah.
Which kind of
You're
ruins
selling
the point of a
digital
marriage.
access.
Where's the intimacy then? Isn't that the whole point of the relationship, is to
like-
have that intimacy? You're selling your intimacy.
You're getting
but-
rid of
but-
the thing that makes you
The
exclusive with the other
exclusive, yeah.
person. Like this is
What
something.
if it's a
even
couple?
If they see you in clothes, they're not going to know exactly what the person looks like naked unless they show themselves on OnlyFans.
I think
What
we're
if it's a
arguing over
couple's
semantics
OnlyFans?
here, so sorry.
But yeah, we
But
probably
there's a
actually
difference
mostly agree on this
between
stuff.
there is a difference between your girl like sleeping with other men versus her posting nude. I don't
But
know
if
the
you were
exact.
Both are
okay,
undesirable.
wearing
so if you were in a
something
relationship, right?
I don't
and-
think either are ideal, but I think
Right.
they're different things.
So if you were in a relationship and your girl sent her nudes to another guy, wouldn't you consider that cheating?
yes.
Why?
What is that?
Isn't
It
that
ha-
promiscuous?
No, it's not. It's not about being promiscuous. I
Why
don't think
not?
that's promiscuous.
So it's
it's
not
not a
cheating,
good
though?
thing. I think we both agree it's not a good
But it's
thing.
cheating, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is cheating, but I don't know why you need to tag on the promiscuity label to it.
Well, I thought we were okay with adding labels here. In that case, like, let's never call someone a hoe then, right? And forego the labels at that point.
We just
It just seems like it's when it's convenient.
Are you just like
and not-
arguing to argue? I'm a little
Yeah,
confused
I
here,
don't
but
get it.
Convenient
it's
to not add
not
the label.
permi-
Can I insert an example? So Marilyn Monroe, married multiple times.
Yeah.
She was the first model for Playboy, right?
Yeah.
Nude.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was unconsensual.
Okay, then
she
what
didn't
about
choose to
Iman,
do that.
David Bowie's wife? She's posed
Jesus Christ,
she's posed
bro.
nude
Bless
for
you.
multiple magazines. Heidi Klum. I can go and name off so many models that do nude, photos. Or what about somebody that does nude modeling for art school?
It's the context. So do you go to a museum to? No, you don't.
Some people do.
That's why a museum isn't. It's the difference.
I don't know.
in
I went to the tape
context.
museum. I went hard. Okay, let me do some super.